So the doors open. We go walking in. I'm walking down the middle with my brother's sons hand in hand. One of my brother's sons had a Chelsea flag, my brother's favourite team, that my brother gave it to him when he was younger. And he wanted to give it back to his dad. So we're walking in, and as the doors open and we walk in, everybody just turned at once. It was like a horror movie. And everyone's just staring at you. And then the music starts playing. And then you know why you're there. And that is a real moment where you sit there and you think to yourself, fuck me. My brother will be gone today. So we're walking down. At the same time as I'm walking down, I'm trying to stare and find my brother's killer amongst the crowd. No one else knowing whatsoever what I am doing, what I'm trying to look for. They just think that I'm just gauging the crowd to see if what anyone is feeling. I don't know. Everyone's looking back at me and smiling at me like, not like, oh mate. It was like a pity smile. And I get it. And I know why people do, because what else can you do when someone stares at you and you clock eyes with them? You're going to smile back, but it's not like a happy smile. I know what a smile is. Is it you? Is it you? Are you in the family side? Is the murderer in my family's side of the crematorium, sitting there thinking you've got away with it? But at the same time, it was the shortest walk I've ever walked in my life, because it's not the longest of walkways. I'm sure for my nephews and his sons, it probably felt long, having that weight on your shoulders when you don't want it there. You want him kicking you up the arse and chasing you around the garden, or getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning trying to get you to make food in the deep fat fryer. But no, he's in a box and he's on your shoulders and you're walking him down. The biggest man we ever knew. In a box. Thanks to 4 fucking cowards. They guide him onto the platform, his final platform, the rollers, and he's there. Fuck, he looks good. He looks good. His son lays the scarf out over the top. It's not a scarf, it's like a flag, but it's like a scarf. Like if you was going to football, you'd put it around you and have your hands in the air and you'd see the logo. So his son's placing this. I pick him up, I put him on the platform, and he's sprawled across the coffin of his dad, laying this flag out. We kiss our hands. We both touched the box. He said, "I love you, Dad." Oh. That churned me up. The sweetest little boy with the cutest voice. He loved his dad. And I know his dad loved him. I turn around and everyone that was carrying the coffin and that, they're all gone. They all disappeared. I'm trying to look for him, but it turned out that they had a seat waiting for him. They all had their own seat. There's little window seats at the front of the running down one side of the room, and I managed to have a space on the edge of one of the window seats, right at the front. I look across at the family and they say, come and sit here. But there wasn't no space. It wasn't a real space to be able to sit down. It was like a tight thing, so I was fine where I was. I said, it's okay. Rocky, my brother's youngest, he wanted to come and sit with me. He didn't leave my side that day. He didn't leave my side at all. It was like he knew. It was like he knew that. And he wanted to stay with me. So we sat there at the front. We picked some wicked songs for him. It was a really good send-off. There was a TV and it had all photographs of us all growing up. The photographs that were on the coffin as the photographs that were running automatically over the thing. My brother's oldest son, he can sing real good. I brought him a guitar after my brother passed and had it engraved and stuff, because I knew that he wanted to sing a song for his brother. So I bought him a nice guitar from my brother so he could play it at his dad's funeral. And he did an amazing job. He really did, because I wouldn't have been able to sing like he did at my father's funeral in front of over 300 people. And that was one thing my brother loved about him, was his voice. So I'm sure if my brother was watching, he would have loved that. More songs played. Original Nutter from Shy FX. You know, when that song come on, people just didn't believe it, because we're at a place of God and you don't hear like Original Nutter from Shy FX at a funeral. And I couldn't help myself, so I started like dancing away to the music. I wasn't like, it was just like, not anymore. You know what I mean? It was just like, and then people looked across at me and they could see, everyone was still, and you could see the shock on their face that this song was being played. But my brother, like, he was mad for decks and he was just mixing, and this was one of his songs, you know, one that I remember. This is one that I picked for him for this day. And then everyone else started like moving as well, and it was really nice. It was like we was at my brother's festival and people were like nodding away and humming, and that's what made that day so special. The fact that it was so different to anything else, because I didn't want a funeral. I wanted a send-off. And then once the song was done, it was my turn to get up and do a speech. I was ready, I was prepped. I wrote my own speech about my brother. I put it up on this so you can read it yourself. I can't reread it because I wouldn't make it through. I got up there knowing that I could do it. I remember standing up there. I didn't look at anybody. I just stood up there on my own. I had it on my phone and I put it on this table where it was, and I had hold of my hands either side of the table and I was holding it and I was gripping it so hard that you could hear the wood was like making creaking noises because I was squeezing it. Everyone was silent, waiting to see what I was going to say. I took a deep breath and I started this poem that I wrote. And I'm not going to lie, as soon as I started, I thought, I'm not going to be able to finish this. I started talking. I got to a certain part of it and I could hear, as soon as I started talking, people started whimpering and they wasn't good. Like people started crying and I was squeezing this table so hard I had to pause because I knew that I was going to burst out crying. And I paused. I put my head down. My stepdad, he got up and he come to me to try and thingy, and I put my hand up to say, please don't, because I knew if he did, I wouldn't be able to finish it, and I had to finish what I started because it's my brother. We always finish what we start. Then my brother's son, Rocky, again, he gets brought up to me because he wanted to come and see me. He runs up to me. I pick him up and I've got him in my arms. As soon as I picked him up, bang, I knew if he was being strong, I had to be strong. Me, 5-year-old Rocky, man me, had to be strong. I finished that poem, but it was the hardest thing that I've ever done. After I finished, I looked across at the pallbearer. He nodded his head at me. I nodded back at him. And then another song played. I went back to my window seat and I sat down, and I had to stand back up again because I don't know why I sat down. I just sat down because I was just like... And then someone that was sitting next to me grabbed my elbow to pull me back up, to like tell me to stand up, and I stood up, but for a second there, I wasn't there. I don't know where I was. Maybe I was just so delusional because I just said my farewell. And it fucked my head. Like, it fucked my head. At the same time, I'm staying strong because I can't let Rocky see me, or Jack, my brother's other boy. I couldn't have them see me break because I'm a strong person to them. So I stay strong, they stay strong. So as this other song's playing, I'm dazed. I'm not listening to it. I don't know what song it was. I'm got Rocky in my arms and I'm swaying with him, but I don't know what the fuck I'm swaying to because I can't hear the song. It's over. The funeral is over. We all have flowers that we put onto the coffin, one by one. His coffin was full. Over 300 flowers were put individually on his coffin. It was beautiful. As we were all leaving, I helped my family at the front of the crematorium individually go and say their final farewell. One by one, everybody left. Of course, I had to make sure everyone got out okay and that no one tampered with the coffin. On top of that, I had to find out who is the murderer here. Who is it? If you're the last person to leave this hall, it's because you've got something to say, right? To him. So I stay. I should be out the front with my family. I should be there helping them to stop people from making them sad. But they're not making them sad. They're already sad. But I should be there to manage what's being said to them and how it's being said. I'm there and I'm like, I'm waiting. Everybody individually leaves to go, hand, kiss, coffin, go. I'm standing there. Everyone's shaking my hand on the way out. Sorry for your loss, 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 sorry for your loss. Imagine that over 300 times. Thank you to everybody there. I love you all for coming to my brother's funeral, and I respect every word that everyone said and didn't know what to say. I appreciate every single one of you, I really do. And I'm sorry that at the same time I was there to help and greet and meet all of you, that I looked at every single one of you that I didn't know as a possible suspect. Because now I know that the person that murdered my brother was not at the funeral. Hard. You imagine trying to deal with that. Imagine that. I was the final one to say something to my brother before we left the hall. They left me there. All the pallbearers left and that, and they left me there because they knew that I needed that minute. Purple Rain by Prince was playing as his final send-off song, which I fucking loved that song, man. Loved that song. Again, I didn't realise he loved it. 5 minutes is all it would have took to turn around and say, yo, what's your favourite song? If you had to be passed away and you had to be took off, what would be your final song? I would never have expected him to say Prince, Purple Rain. Good for you, bruv. Good for you. You know? So we leave. There's over 300 plus people outside. I know I keep saying 300 plus people, but I'm just amazed that how many people actually cared for my brother after he'd passed. Mental. So we're there. We've all got balloons. At the same time, we got the crematorium place saying, what I need you to do is set off your balloons. You've got about 15 minutes and then you're going to have to ask everyone to leave because we've got another person straight in afterwards. Yeah, sure, mate. Yeah, sure. There was some people that we grew up with whose family own a company that does balloons and things like that, and they got us 300 white balloons, and they hired trailers to put these balloons in to bring them, and they done it all for nothing. Blown away. Again, thank you for kind people out there. What you helped us do was create a memory and a perfect send-off at the very end. Thank you very much. Everyone had their balloons, more or less, because like I said, 300 balloons, because that's what I thought was coming. Over 300, I think about 348 people turned up. So there was people that were sharing balloons, but 300 balloons hit the sky that day, and I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen 300 balloons hit the sky and look so fucking amazing in all my life. And I just sat there and I thought to myself, I wonder what people were thinking, seeing all them balloons, what they must be thinking, because they travelled over the top of the motorway and they were being carried to wherever they got carried to. But they stayed together. They didn't separate. 300 balloons stayed together and they drifted out of sight. Mesmerising. Whilst I'm trying to live that moment, at that final send-off, waiting for the balloons to disappear out of sight, I couldn't, because I had 300 plus people to try and get out of the crematorium and go to the final drinking space that we'd also had donated to us by a local pub within my area from where my shop is. Again, thank you very much. So after I've said goodbye to my brother, I'm now a crowd control person, trying to usher everyone out. Again, I was the final person to leave the crematorium that day because I had to make sure everyone else was okay and they left safely. I was alone. I say I was alone. I had Avani with me, which is the mother of my children. But realistically, I should have been there with my family at the venue waiting for people to turn up. I leave the place and I end up at the venue after ushering all these people out. We end up back at the venue, which is in the town centre. And everybody, as I walked in, everyone was already drinking and smoking and eating. And why did no one wait for me? I know this isn't my day, but I arranged all this. Why did no one wait for me to turn up before everyone started tucking into the food? Tucking in to this day. I never got an answer for the things that I thought about. I haven't had the ability to be able to lay my mind to rest with the events that has happened over the time. All I know was that I need to do something to help people realise the mistake that they're making. And to stop people from feeling this way. I'm a strong person, but this broke me. It It wasn't just my brother that was murdered that day. My whole entire family was murdered too. You destroyed us and everyone in my life. We, as a family, are serving the life sentence, not the people that did it. We are serving the life sentence. And you're just losing your life. Because you will settle in your jail and you will just forget the days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It would just be nothing, because you'll be focused on the year that you'll be released, and that'll be all you'll focus on. Because there's no point you focusing on days, because you don't have days, you have years. We have to focus on the days of being able to wake up in the morning and build the strength to get out of bed, to keep pushing for us to be able to survive for tomorrow. Another day that we have to build our strength to keep pushing, while you guys count down the years. Knife crime doesn't just affect you, it affects everybody. And these are the reasons for my videos and my story, my journey. This might make me look weak. This might make me have some people say that, damn, I didn't think you wasn't like that. This might make people think whatever. But the reason why I'm doing this, and the reason why I'm laying it out raw, is because I don't want no one else to feel how I feel. There is days I can't breathe. There is days I can't think straight. There is days where all I can think about is my brother. And there are days where all I want to do is cry. But I know that nothing's going to change and nothing's going to help the pain that I'm feeling. But I know that I will not let my brother die in vain, and I will not let his spirit die. So for me, the reason why I'm laying it out there for this YouTube, this channel, this everything, it's because I don't want you to feel or go through what I am going through. And I don't want you to lose your life. And I don't want you to spend your life in jail. So think before you're stupid enough to act upon something so serious as taking another person's life. If you think, or you have a knife in your trousers, in your coat, in your socks, strapped to your leg, whatever, take that knife, put it back in the drawer. Take that knife, put it in an amnesty bin. Show what type of man you are by standing there on your toes and not pulling out a weapon. Because I promise you, you will regret the outcome. Whether it's a life in prison or whether you have to carry a bruised eye or something. You're alive. Live for that. Breathe for that. Act on that. You are better than this. Unfortunately for me, I have to live with this for the rest of my life, and I know how painful it is. I know how this feels on a daily basis, and believe me, you don't want this. You do not want this. I stress to you that I am willing to put myself out there as weak, as sad, as miserable. I will show you tears. I will show you anger. I will show you every single emotion that I am going through on a daily basis to make sure that you don't carry a knife and you put it away. And do not use that on somebody, because I promise you that it would be the biggest mistake of your life. Boys and girls who carry weapons, you need to step back and think. Take a good long look in the mirror. And if you care for the people you love, really care for the people you love, it's not reputation they want. It's the oxygen in your lungs they want. I promise you this now. Don't do nothing stupid. Please think before you act. And stop carrying a knife. I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody that's followed my journey and they stayed with me, sent me plenty of messages. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope and pray that you don't end up being one of the people on my videos telling me your deepest pain. And I hope that you never have to suffer this way, where you struggle to think about anything other than the pain that you deal with. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. Stay safe, everybody, and please put down a knife.